What happens when a software engineer treats AI like an incredibly sharp human teammate rather than just another shortcut? Well, today my guest is from a company called Jalasoft, and we're going to test that idea in the real world because his name's Santiago and he works at the intersection of engineering and education, ultimately shaping how developers learn to think with AI without just handing over the steering wheel. So if you've ever wondered whether AI will replace human testers, you're in the right place. Because here's the thing, testing is not as simple as a pass or a fail in technology. It's things like curiosity, context, and AI can grind through patterns at speed, but it does miss the lived messiness of people that are using products in surprising ways. That's what gives us humans the edge over AI. And today we'll talk about everything from bias and ethics and how training data can carry hidden flaws that hit hardest in everything from healthcare, finance and hiring. And look a little bit deeper into some of AI's blind spots, especially around testing and usability. And also look at the very real security risks that can occur when tools demand deep system access. But the star of the show is Santiago, because he's going to be bringing a grounded view from Jalasoft and their university ecosystem, where engineers learn to pair strategy with smart automation. Think of it as almost a new division of labour. AI takes that repetitive strain. Humans bring thinking power, judgment, creativity, and the ability to ask better questions. And if you care about building trustworthy systems, and if you're mapping out agentic workflows or just simply trying to ship better software without losing sleep, pull up a chair and together we'll learn a little more about why testers are not going anywhere soon and how they can get even better with AI by their side. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so thank you for having me, Neil. I'm Santiago Komadina. I'm a French Bolivian working as a research and development engineer and teacher at Jala University. My work focuses on several key areas: developing AI-powered solutions for higher education, particularly online learning, teaching deep learning and generative AI to both students and professionals, and conducting research on generative AI technologies like large language models. And finally, I'm working on AI ethics and AI for social good initiatives. To give you a little bit of context about our organization, Jalasoft is a nearshore outsourcing company that provides South American software engineering talent to companies seeking technical expertise globally. So we built a reputation for delivering high-quality engineering solutions. And from that, Jala University emerged as our strategic response to the talent development challenge in the nearshore software business. We recognize that to maintain excellence in software engineering services, we need to create our own pipeline of skilled professionals. So Jala University isn't just another educational institution. It's our commitment to developing the generation of engineers who understand both the technical excellence and the real-world business application. We focus on practical, industry-relevant education that prepares students to work efficiently in international software development environments.
And that is one of the many reasons why I invite you to join me on the podcast today, because I know you're incredibly passionate about educating engineers, and Jalasoft's focus on continuous education, again, helps prepare engineers to work effectively alongside so many different emerging AI tools. But tell me more about that passion for educating engineers and the focus at Jalasoft too.
Yeah, so, This is incredibly complex because we just started with this university a couple of years ago, and from there we learned some critical lessons. First, despite the AI tremendous evolution, it's not quite there for many tasks yet. Surprisingly, even developers don't always understand how LLMs actually work. which create implementation challenges. But perhaps the most important discovery we find yet is that communication with AI is very important. And it's far more complex than just the initial prompt engineering hype paradigm. We're moving beyond that simplistic approach and to deliver some sophisticated interaction paradigms. We are now seeing the emergence of technologies like MCPs, Model Context Protocol, A2A, Agent-to-Agent communication frameworks. These represent a fundamental shift from humans crafting their perfect prompt to create structured communication protocols where AI can interact more naturally and efficiently with each other and with human workflows. So this evolution has forced us to completely rethink interfaces and communication protocols. It's not just about asking the AI the right question anymore. It's about designing systems where AI can maintain the context, share information between different tools and agents, and integrating a seamless work into complex workflows. The prompt engineering era was just the beginning, but now we are building collaborative environments. And finally, we learned that working with this large amount of data, it can be overwhelming for non-experts and even experts. And from that, some key insights. We initially tried to over-rely on AI. We gave to AI all of our tasks and tried to see how it performs. But we realized that we finally spent too much time trying to code review the implementations and try to understand what the models actually generated more than just implementing the solutions.
And a quick scroll down or doom scroll down our news feeds, and there is so much concern around AI replacing jobs, etc. at the moment. And that's one of the reasons I really love your collaborative approach here. And I'm curious, from what you're seeing, how do you see AI changing the daily work of software testers, and where do humans remain irreplaceable in that? Because I think it's something we don't shout about enough, because it is that collaboration with AI and humans working alongside each other. But how do you see this?
Okay, so I think that I want to start by emphasizing that AI is here to stay. So that's inevitable. And we must embrace that and learn how to work alongside it. I think that's the main challenge. AI is fundamentally a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. And that depends on us. And our approach is very important to define this kind of guidelines. The emergence of AI has highlighted something crucial, in my opinion. As software engineers, pure coding will become less central to our daily work, but this doesn't mean that we stop learning how to code, how to debug, how to interpret code. Think of this way. We didn't stop teaching arithmetics when calculators were invented. Similarly, coding fundamentals remain essential foundational skills. What is changing is that we now have more time to think than to code, which, as Sam Altman said on a tweet last week, that's a harder task. So software engineers, both developers and testers, need to adjust their workflows. Less time debugging and coding and more time thinking strategically and collaborating with AI tools. This means technical knowledge becomes even more critical to identify and counter AI hallucinations.
And I think AI and humans have completely different skill sets. And when they come together, I think that they often work better together than they can do on their own. That is the ultimate goal here. And we know AI has got strengths and weaknesses, but what role do you see human intuition and human creativity playing in testing areas where AI will fall short? Where do the humans have the upper hand here, and what do they bring to the table?
Okay, so I think that's a very interesting question because this touches one of the AI most fundamental limitations. While we dream about AI advancing research and developing solutions beyond our reach, we must understand what generative AI actually does. It predicts the next token based on its training data. So even if AI appears to create new content, it's fundamentally recombining existing patterns from its training data. So at the heart of current LLM architectures, true innovation isn't possible because models struggled with genuinely unseen scenarios. However, I should mention some exciting developments like the AlphaFold model, which has found new, more optimal solutions to previously solved problems, bringing us closer to genuine innovation rather than just assistance. But in broader areas like software development and testing, human creativity remains irreplaceable. We bring intuition, critical thinking, and the ability to imagine truly novel approaches. The future will be collaborative, humans providing creativity and strategical thinking, while AI handles routine tasks and data processing.
And I think if we've learned anything from the last 20 years with technology and digital disruption, is moving fast and breaking things is probably not the best way forward. So in your view, what safeguards do you think are needed to ensure that AI-driven testing avoids things like bias and ethical pitfalls?
Okay, so I think this requires a multi-layer approach. First, we must strongly support high-quality education that develops, as I was saying, critical thinking and deep understanding of how this technology works, including their limitation and contradiction, of course. We also need constant vigilance and strong philosophical approach to technology. This includes paying attention on how we teach data science and privacy, addressing copyright issues, and grappling with philosophical questions like, for instance, when an AI model assists in research or development, who should be recognized as the author? The model, the scientist, the developer, maybe all of three? We don't know, but these kind of questions are very necessary to start establishing some kind of posture about AI, right? And we also need to address non-technical aspects, often overlooked: environmental impact of AI computation, equitable access of technology, and ensuring that everyone can benefit from these advances. At Jalasoft, we place these ethical considerations at the center of AI education and implementation.
And another big concern right now is cybersecurity and the security of data in organizations. So for the business leaders listening, how should their company be approaching things like the security risks that just come with giving AI tools deep system access? It's one of those things that will probably keep a lot of cyber experts and IT workers awake at night. But how should they approach this?
Okay, so I think this is incredibly complex. And while I'm not a security expert, I believe that we are on the verge of a new cybersecurity era, not just because of AI, but due to a convergence of multiple technological shifts, just like quantum computation and stuff like that. From an educational and AI implementation perspective, I think that companies need to constantly monitor and adapt their approaches within this broader global context. We can't rely solely on technological solutions. We need comprehensive standards and policy developed by security experts. What I can say is that security, privacy, and ethics should be at the center of every company's motivations, not afterthought. From our experience at Jalasoft, knowledge sharing and guidance are crucial. While we are not security specialists, we focus on educating people, not just about the capabilities of technology, but also about its consequences and impact on daily life. We need engineers who understand both the technical and societal implication of their work, including when to bring security experts for proper risk assessment.
And I suspect for many people listening, they're probably in pilot phase still or still trying to find their way with AI. And of course, you're someone that's working alongside this technology every single day. And I'm curious, if you look back at the journey that you've been on, what lessons has Jalasoft learned from integrating AI into its testing and development workflows? What have you picked up along the way? What lessons have you learned?
Okay, so I think I can start by saying that it's not that easy, right? Because here we are working with a lot of data, and we are also working with a more pluridisciplinary perspective. Meaning that we need to work on our language, right? Because now every interaction with AI is through natural language. So first of all is that it's not so easy or evident to have all the design architecture if you want to implement a feature in your mind, and you need to spend more time trying to focus on the design perspective rather than just using the AI. So that I think is the first of the observation, and just like I was saying before, we need to understand how the AI truly works, because sometimes we think that we are in front of a conscious system that can handle everything that we pass to it. But that's wrong. That's wrong. You will probably end up spending a lot of time reviewing what the model has just generate instead of just implementing the solutions. So for that, we need a high quality education, as I just was saying, and a lot of practice. And something that we find truly interesting is that you need to find your own setup. And that's very important because, as I was just saying, we are not working on a very technical or exclusive path. We are now working with the natural language, and everyone has his own setup, internal perspective, and all of these factors or all of these products are important to know how to work efficiently. But that starts by you. Mhm.
And of course, every new tech project is under increasing scrutiny on the focus of ROI and a focus on the problem. What problem are we solving here? How are we making the boat go faster instead of just getting distracted by the shiny new AI technology? So how do you balance efficiency gains from AI with the risk of overlooking edge cases or usability issues and ensuring you deliver things on time and deliver real value? How do you get around that?
Okay, so to complement my previous response, I think here the most important part is build your own environment, right? It requires an adjustment period to find what works best for you in your specific context. Finding the right glove for your hand is the most important part here. We discovered that AI tends to generalize and produce mainstream compliance solutions while make it unreliable for high risk or high edge case scenarios. The key here is working at a scale that you can control, not giving all your application or all your code to give the solution. No, you can start working by parts. And if you have it controlled, you can review it and assess the risk for it. So the balance comes from the understanding of AI's strengths and its limitations, then designing workflows that leverage AI for routine tasks while ensuring human oversight for the critical decision all along the process. It's about complementary collaboration and not just replacement, of course.
Exciting times ahead. And I'm curious if you were to look into the immediate future, where do you see the biggest opportunities for collaboration between human testers and AI over the next, 3 to 5 years? Where do you see the big opportunities here?
Okay, so I think this is a challenge. This is challenging to give a definitive answer because right now everything is evolving so rapidly that multiple paths are ahead from us. However, I'm confident enough to say that human testers and developers will remain integral to the software industry, and they will probably become better engineers through all this collaboration. We should pursue this collaborative partnership between engineers and AI tools. For instance, agentic AI is emerging as the current paradigm for programming, and it seems like to persist. This will generate more data and refine techniques over time. While human brain is remarkable, we can't process all the vast amount of data we are working with. And that's where AI excels. The key here is delegating the routine and heavily technical work to AI while focusing on human skills, right? New interaction paradigm will emerge. And we need to ask ourselves a lot of questions. So, just like how we will be working with AI, we will be needing voice interfaces, gestural controls. All of those kind of questions are very important, and I think they will lead and establish the relationship between engineers and AI.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your insights and your experiences with everybody listening today, and indeed connecting with people listening all around the world from Bolivia today as well. Big quick shout out there. And some of the biggest names in business, VC funding and tech have either been guests or maybe just listened to this podcast. So I'm going to see if there's something we can do for you here. Is that a person you'd love to have a private breakfast or lunch with? Who would it be and why? He or she might just get to hear this. Let's see what we can manifest together today.
Oh, that would be very nice. I think that without hesitation, I would choose Jan LeCun, because he's one of the most important and influent researchers on AI, and I admire a lot his AI philosophy. He's cautious but optimistic, and he's also a strong defender of open source approaches for AI. And as one of the most influential figures in AI, he sees technology not just as a miracle, but maintains healthy skepticism, and understands the material consequences of AI beyond the science and tech applications. His vision seems to be the most balanced at all for me. And as a fellow French compatriot, I think we've had a very good lunch and conversation about AI in society.
With some amazing food as well. If we've got a couple of Frenchies there sitting down for a meal, the food is to die for, man. So let's put it out there. We've put it into the universe. Let's see what we can make happen there. And for everybody else listening that just want to find out more information about anything we talked about today and your work, etc., where should they go? Where would you like to point everyone?
Okay, so great question. I think there's several ways for you listening that can connect to us. For updates on our latest research, courses, and insight on AI education, I recommend following the Jala University official channels. We regularly share some content about our AI programs, research findings, and educational approaches. For those interested in Jalasoft nearshore engineering services or learning more about how we are integrating AI into our software development workflows, I suggest reaching through Jalasoft main channel. Our team can connect with you connect you to the right department based on your specific needs.
Awesome. Well, I'll add links to everything there. Make it easy for anybody listening to find out more information. And I cannot thank you enough today for finally answering that question of why AI won't replace human testers, exploring the worlds of bias, ethics, AI blind spots, security risks, all washed down with a very positive message. And also, of course, shining a light on why you guys are one of the South America's fastest growing software technology companies in the world. Love to stay in touch with you as this journey continues to evolve for you. Wish you the best of luck. But thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Neil, and thank you to your listening for having me here. It was my pleasure.
So what will you remember the next time someone claims AI can do it all? I think Santiago reminded us that great testing blends speed with sense, automation, and human judgment. And we've covered today why education matters, how biases can sneak in through data, where AI shines on repetitive tasks, and where people like you and me can spot those oddities that machines often skip. And I was also glad we managed to touch on the safeguards today. We've all seen what happens with move fast and break things. So talking about thoughtful standards and working at a scale that you can control and keep visibility on risk while you're moving faster, that has got to be progress, hasn't it? But here's my takeaway. Treat AI like a capable colleague, not a replacement. Give it tasks that maybe just suck your time and spend your time more wisely on design and edge cases and the story that your product tells the moment a user lands on it. Because if that's the future of testing, it sounds like a good one, doesn't it? And having listened to Santiago's journey at Jalasoft and the Jala University there, over to you. What will change in your own workflow this week? What are you taking away from that conversation? Let me know. techblogwriteroutlook.com, techtalksnetwork.com for all our podcast interviews, and leave me an audio message if you want to, of course. Other than that, I'll be back again tomorrow with another guest. Bye for now.